And it's finally time. Everything has been finally set. Everything, no technical issues, no weird moments from Ziren or something like that. Little boy finally understood what to do.
Yeah, nobody had to ponder on their life mistakes. Chat has been pondering as well, like life's questions. In the meanwhile, you can let the voices go now. It's finally here, the grand final of the Baltic Trackmania League. Summer 2023 is upon us with Ziren, Arvito, Morioka, and Auris, and we start on Böhmer, and we start off with a no slide for Ziren to begin. It is his pick as well. So maybe not the best start on his own map.
Yeah, so the map that will be banned is gonna be Reunion. So that is the map that will be decided, that will not be appearing in the grand final. The Reunion was the map that decided the last two players in the grand final, Morioka and Arvito in the lower bracket final. So it's time to see who will be the Baltic Trackmania League winner for this season. We had the last winner, Kuzi, was getting eliminated in lower bracket final. Will it be Morioka or will it be the upper bracket players, Auris and Ziren, maybe the newcomer Arvito? At the moment, it's looking like Morioka will be the one having the best start, as the both upper bracket players have been having a mistake each. And Morioka and Arvito, the two lower bracket players, who both of them actually came from the lower bracket semi-final, as both of the upper bracket players, Dvinho and Kuzi, were eliminated the lowers. And the two players who get past lower bracket semi-final are here now at the grand final.
Yeah, that is the tale of this entire tournament so far. And Ziren again having a bit of a shaky start. You know, maybe they had to dwell on their thoughts a bit too long as well. You know, sometimes these technical stuff or these pauses can throw some people off, while others just dwell in the confidence. As Morioka, that is not the line you want to take. He probably wasn't going to get the magnet anyway. So from first to last is a classic, with everybody else now trying to get the other positions, as the people who were last in the previous round are now first and second. So we might have an actual flip of the entire board to be quite equal, and we'll see how things will go. Ziren and Auris fighting for that first. Second, Arvito is still in the wing, unless something really happens in the end. Does have more speed than Auris, but that is not going to be enough. So it is actually a flip of the board, quite literally. It is basically everybody on 13 or 12 points, and Ziren takes the first position.
Yeah, Ziren, despite having a very shaky start, still managed to be ahead in terms of points. This was the map he picked as well. He had been in general having a very solid performance on the fast point maps, having in terms of global even level, having a very dominant performance on them. At the moment, Morioka, the one with the small mistake, having a very solid first half, is off. And Ziren is a bit off in the round. Arvito, the one who's always a bit in the middle, definitely wasn't expected the player to see in the grand finals, making the upset above of Dvinho and Kuzi in the lower bracket final. Morioka, Auris trying to fight for 10 points. Ziren crashes out. Arvito is only the one to challenge the top two, as Auris gets a bit of an airtime and a bit of a recorrection from Arvito's end as well. Morioka now has a bit more solid lead, as now Arvito tries to fight for the plus 7 points, gets way more momentum. Morioka secures the tenner, and Auris will get the second with the plus 7. And it looks like Arvito is gonna be always in the second or third positions, and the current points leader now only gets 3 points.
Yeah, that is a bit of a conglomeration of everybody else on 18, 17, 17. Morioka sits at 23, but it is going to be early times. We have plenty of maps to go after this. We have Erathel, then there's Lostic and Surface Switch to go, in that order as I named them as well. So it's not over until it's over, but Ziren definitely not enjoying the pick at the moment. Always finds himself at the moment in 4th position. Does get a really nice exit from that position, almost jumping into 1st position, as currently Morioka sits in 4th. Auris taking a good lead. Arvito, as you said, always in the mix so far. Hasn't put a foot wrong. He's just not been able to get the pace right there. Just has missed out on a bit every single round, but really trying to push for it, as Auris and Morioka are the ones pushing for 1st and 2nd. Morioka does have more speed, I believe, or maybe not actually. Auris might be taking first position by 7,000ths of a second. Arvito is again third, and Ziren is fourth. So again, close affairs on these rounds at the moment. Permer delivering as expected.
Yeah, maybe Arvito. I remember in the early days of BTL, I had the 4th place curse. Maybe Arvito is now setting himself up for 3rd place curse.
Oh, somebody has to. Somebody has to have some kind of curse at this point. Hopefully Arvito won't get the 4th place curse from you.
But yeah, anyway, in the total point standings, Morioka after map 1 is in the lead with 30 points. Auris in 2nd with 27. Arvito 3rd with 22. And the player who picked the first map is last, Ziren, with only 21. He's now going on the 2nd fast one map. Erathel, this was one of the Ziren's, also one of the better maps, but seeing how of a shaky start he had early on, we'll see if he can redeem himself right here.
It's gonna be looking good. I mean, Ziren in the Swiss mode had some incredible starts, but both Ziren and Morioka get a bit of airtime and allowing Arvito to take a considerable lead, and that is quite a lead even to start off. Yet the sausage section really good, as everybody sets up for this part quite differently. Morioka goes for a bit of a swing, Auris and Arvito jump straight into it. There's plenty of ways to do it, but it doesn't really matter because Arvito is the one just holding everybody in front, goes a bit wide, just makes it. So everybody's just inching a bit more closer. Everybody's gonna go wider here, so they might exit with a lot more speed than Arvito. Auris does get a bit less there, but that is going to be a good end. And to the line, Morioka misses the finish, and so does Ziren, but quicker on the respawn, does get it there. So Arvito takes the first round, Auris is 2nd, Ziren is 3rd, and Morioka is 4th.
Yeah, the top 3 is now getting close, and the supposed favorite, the player who had the biggest advantage heading into the final, is currently the one last in terms of points, while the rest of the players are still very close by. We'll see if he can redeem himself this time around. These 2 maps were the ones where he was the favorite here. So we'll see if he can redeem himself here. Actually, Auris now the one who was one of the worser players between Ziren in the honorary duo. But we'll have to see if he can do. Looks like Auris is definitely being set up, having a step up as Ziren. Again, a very shaky performance. Ziren in the last season also was looking very, very strong, but also kind of tossed everything away in the grand final where he did place 4th place last time around. Morioka overtaking Auris now. Arvito also very close by. One small mistake and it's an overtake for Arvito, and it will not be the case. Very good time there from Morioka. A point 15 and points, even from Auris as well, a point 27. But it's going to be Morioka taking the 10-pointer and now overtaking Auris for the lead, as Arvito will continue on with his 3rd places, as Ziren is now starting to fall behind.
It is a bit of a start, but I do remember also in the grand final of the previous BTL, it's like Ziren was looking quite strong, but as you said, it's like Ziren maybe not enjoying the grand final pressure. He's been here many times now before, well, not many times, but he has been in a position like this before. Maybe doesn't really dwell on the pressure, as Morioka doesn't get the 3rd section quite well, really jumps into it and touches it on the outside, so it puts the both honorary members up in front at the moment, with Ziren maybe catching a break for once and getting 1 round in his pocket. He really needs something going, because otherwise everybody's just gonna run away with it. Lostic will be the next map soon, so but that is a rough entry. Oh my god, how did Auris finish that? He literally touched the most lowest part of that finish ring you could possibly do, but that's a good round for Ziren to bounce back on.
He's starting to reduce the gap as well between the rest of the players. He was around like 10 points behind the 3rd place, but now he's starting to reduce the gap, as it's now only down to 3, as Arvito keeps collecting 3rd places in this match. He had like one or two top 2 finishes. He's never been last, which at least hasn't given him the 3-pointers so far. Trying to work on the consistency, and still allows him to add up the points as well. So he's very, very close between the top 2 players, as we see 48, 46, and 42. We'll see if he can still challenge with terms of pace to get those big pointers, since there's a small point given advantage for the top 2 players in a round. Ziren trying to have a bit of a better performance now, trying to climb out from the 4th place in the standings. As he's ahead, a bit of a shaky entry from Arvito, gets overtaken by Auris, now starting to challenge for 3rd place. It looks like Ziren might be taking the 1st place with a .13, very good time there. Morioka in 2nd with a .22, .2. Auris in 3rd, and Arvito this time is in 4th.
Yeah, and with one map, we are basically almost close to ground zero, because everybody is now punched up again. There's only 8 points separating 1st and 4th position, but now Losty comes in, and this is where most likely, if everything is going according to what we've seen before, Morioka is probably going to go to the 4th place. I'm not even going to be sugarcoating it. It has been a rough time for him, as everybody else has been looking considerably more consistent and faster than Morioka on this. But we'll see, you know, everything can happen.
To give a small insight, in seeding events that happened before the group stage, where this map only was played, Ziren was the best player out of these 4. Arvito was 2nd best on this map, then it was Auris and Morioka. Auris and Morioka were very similar in terms of their performance on this map, but we'll have to see how it will work like in this match. In theory, Ziren and Arvito are the 2 better players between this 4-player duel. And we'll see how it works out. Currently, it does follow the pattern as mentioned, with Morioka being the one behind, having the biggest struggle so far, together with Auris. Arvito doesn't get the best exit, at least avoids a triangle bump. However, Auris does touch the outside. Ziren's trying to run away with the points, however, he's chased by Morioka. There's a very .3 gap, however, now there's a .6 gap forming between 2nd and 3rd, while Auris is really down the field, as we have only 10-second finish timeout. It takes 10 seconds from the winner to finish the round, which currently is still capable from Auris quite easily. Right now, Morioka still trying to challenge Ziren, however, the gap seems to be the same. Very similar lines that they take, so no major differences right there. And Ziren's gonna take the first 10-pointer on Lostic, while Morioka is having a small surprise, honestly, as this has been the map where he had the biggest amount of issues on, and Arvito will collect another 3rd place into this match. Very interesting would be to know the stats, like how many 3rd places has Arvito out of the rounds potentially has been 3rd.
Probably the majority so far, at least it seems like it. But it's so fun to see as well. I come back to this. Morioka in 1 round got more points than he did in lower bracket semis on Lostic. It still baffles me to this day, but you know, at least it's looking better for him. But for everybody else, you can see the confidence is there. Auris is the only one where it is absolutely also not in the good. Arvito does touch the checkpoint a bit, so not looking good. But Morioka feels a lot more confident in this section. But Ziren also on a really good run at the moment. The top 2 are on really decent pace at the moment. Of course, Ziren having a really good start, and Morioka just holding on to 2nd position. Auris is in the wing. Arvito, I mean, he would really need somebody to make a massive mistake to really catch up to at the moment, as Auris holds his 3rd position at the moment. Ziren looking to get some decent points. It could be 2 out of 2 for him if he can get his end once again, but this can go really sour really quick. But so far looking good for everybody involved. Morioka is going for the attack, and he actually gets it right on the line. 30,000. This is the first time Morioka has been in the 1st position throughout this entire playoffs on Lostic. Incredible scenes.
Who would have thought that the map that Morioka... Actually, in theory, he did pick... Maybe these are some crazy mind games, or he's
not
that
just
good
pretending.
Yeah, and then in the final, it just pulls the trap card. It's like, maybe I'm actually kind of decent on this one. And causing a massive surprise right now. I see that I haven't seen a snipe like that on a map like this. And Morioka actually, out of 20 possible points so far on this map, is at 17. And with that, surprisingly, despite being the map where we thought that he might be just super struggling on, is now even starting to gain and be now jumping in the 1st position. As Auris completely flips over the border, is now down in the sides. Morioka also dropping the gear, allowing now Arvito to jump into 2nd place. Ziren trying to place it nice and easy, very consistent with his spacing so far on this map, despite a lot of players struggling. He's trying to keep it very nice and even every single time. So we'll see how it will go right here.
Yeah, Morioka does have a casual Morioka round now. It's kind of mudded, but Auris in a similar boat. So Ziren will go and pick up those extra 10 points. Very casual. Arvito second, you know, get some points on the board. Morioka comes in third. Auris has taken Morioka's position on Lostic, being absolutely in the bad mindset on here. But you know, you get this map out of the way, and then it's better grounds for now. But everything involved, Ziren now is actually in the lead of the competition by 1 point ahead of Morioka, where Auris is just completely out of it. So we move on to the top 3.
Yeah, it's definitely not working out for Auris in this map, especially because instead of Morioka, it's actually Auris is the one who is this map is not working out. Well, Morioka actually has a very solid performance. Arvito, despite having this being one of his best maps, also not having the best performance in the early rounds. However, this round looks completely different. 3 players
I've never seen
completely
anybody so
side by side,
close.
so close. I haven't seen that. Same.
Yeah,
But
it's miraculous though, but Morioka is the one to take the lead.
yeah, Ziren with a small bump gives it opportunity for Arvitus for a small overtake. We'll see how this will go.
I'll see how things will go indeed. Morioka is holding the lead, but it can all crumble in the end. Arvito and Ziren are fighting for that second position, but Morioka's line does look good enough. But I feel like Arvito is able to hold out. Can he get the finish? He actually does. A clean inside drift or clean slide on the inside there to secure some second position. The nice points from Ziren, and Auris does not even finish, allowing Arvito to overtake him. So it's becoming a bit of a 2-horse race up at the front. Currently with Morioka and Ziren, and Arvito and Auris being the ones to be in the denying position. But at least Lostic is over for Auris. He can take a bit of a breath of relief, I guess, from that now on.
Also, Auris not having been present in any Baltic tournaments in the grand finals since winter 2022. So he hasn't been in a Baltic grand final for more than 1.5 years. So
yeah. And then he comes to a nice map.
Yeah, and many people have considered him as the best, but he hasn't been actually in a grand final for more than 16 months. So we'll see how this will go this time. Maybe he can bounce back. Has been the only person in the grand final so far with a DNF, as the finish time has been reduced for the playoffs from 15 to 10. So the players are definitely way more punished if they have a really, really big mistake. We're going on surface switch, all players being very nice and even so far. Ziren having a very solid opener together with Morioka, while Auris and Arvito very close there on the side. Morioka gets the best exit on the side, but very, very close fight. All players having a very solid outside line. We have seen minor touches here from over-risking, getting as much momentum here. Arvito gets the most speed, overtakes even Morioka at the end. Auris is behind the field, gets even a big oversteer. It's a very close fight for the second place. Morioka overtakes him, and even Auris overtakes Arvito. And Auris finally gets a small comeback, but it's still only 5 points as Ziren secures another 10-pointer. As our leaders, Morioka and Ziren, are starting to separate themselves from the rest of the players with more than 20 points difference.
Yeah, it's indeed, it's becoming ever so clear who are the front runners, as one of the front runners is now in the back end. So not from the back end, it is the first position, but does not lend itself to many points. So it is opportunity for Arvito and Auris to deny points from Morioka and get some of their own, but Arvito gets a nose slide out of all the things there. Not something you see quite often, but it is a mistake that can happen if you are not careful into that turn. But it leaves Auris possibly to get around when he needs something to go right for him. But he needs to beat Morioka to the line. It is equal. He's setting himself up for a better line here. You gather more speed, but that's still quite wide. You can feel it's not that confident for Auris, as it's a bit of wibbly wobbly. and Morioka is the one to take the win. But 7 points for Auris, you take that. You know, it's an improvement. It's up and going upwards, and that is what they're looking at. Now Arvito takes its casual 3rd position as always.
Yeah, with that now Morioka starts to extend his lead over Ziren, as Ziren didn't have the best round, only got 3 points, and now Auris and Arvito trying to fight a bit more for the 3rd position. We're playing till 120 points and now playing out all 3 winners. So even when the finalist for the 1st person reaches finalist, then it's all on for them to close it out, or else other players will start to catch up. We'll have to see how it will go this time. Morioka with having the best advantage, overtaking even the both upper bracket players currently in terms of points amount. All 4 players are very close in this match so far. All 3 Baltic countries represented in the top 3, with Ziren, one of the upper seed, coming into this grand final a bit struggling. Small oversteers from the side. Will we see touches here? No, all players do not touch, and even top 3 gets even way more momentum as Auris and Morioka gets a bit of a small bump from the center. If that loses a bit momentum, Morioka starts to catch up over Arvito and does do it, and does get to 10 points. And Arvito at least secures the 7 to deny both Lithuanians from the big points. But Morioka now with this another 10-pointer starts to extend his lead even more.
Yeah, it seems that from the depths of despair there, as I said it in one of my matches, from the biggest depths of despair and darkness, you might see the biggest shine of light. And it seems that at the moment, when it is working for players, it is a good snowball effect. And Morioka is definitely in that driving seat, as I feel like Ziren is definitely a momentum-placed player. A lot of these players are. I feel like Arvito most of the time is the more consistent one. Of course, he's going up against some of the most toughest opposition imaginable, so he does have to push more than he's maybe comfortable with normally. But Auris, Ziren and Morioka are definitely not an easy cookie to crack, as Morioka, well, is the first one to crack under the pressure, as everybody else is going towards the finish line. And from that last position for Ziren, looking to be first for him now, looking good so far. Can he actually hold on until the very end? And indeed, they all can. So, you know, not the worst. You know, it was a bit of a reversal, so we go back to the same deficit as beforehand.
Yeah, but the opportunity for Morioka to potentially enter in finalists has been denied. Morioka now in the next map, which is, in the next round, which is going to be on the next map, is now, will need a top 3 finish to enter in finalists and potentially contend his first Baltic Trackmania League title. He has placed 2nd place. Some interesting fact about Morioka: his worst placement in any Baltic tournament was 3rd place, and that was in Baltic Trackmania Championship 2020, which was still held in Trackmania Stadium, Trackmania 2 Stadium, which is more than 3 years ago. That has been his worst placement ever in Baltic tournaments. And we now going on a full map rotation right now.
Yeah, this is we go back to the rotation. I mean, he won the PTC, he got 2nd in BTL behind Sander, but now he has a very glorious opponent as Ziren again. First round on this map starts with a nose slide. It's just a carbon copy of the exact same thing that happened in the first case. So it's not looking good for him, but that is the worst possible outcome. He now needs to hope, but even it doesn't really matter, because no matter what happens, unless Morioka literally combusts in front of the stadium or disconnects or something, he will be securing finalist mode, and he's looking to do it in a very dominant fashion, as Arvito is trying to catch up, but nobody's really able to get close. Auris, Arvito are in the wings. It's not over yet. This end lends itself to quite a bit of risk, so if Morioka takes it a bit too safe, he can give it up as Auris has more speed. He's coming ever so closer. He's really risking it, and he actually overtakes. I told you it's not over until you get to the finish line, and Auris just full-blown sends it.
Yeah, the Agent 007 pulls out here. And but Morioka is still in the final, but Auris got very much needed big points. Arvito was super close, as none of these players have ever won the Baltic Trackmania League. One of them will be doing so, and at the moment, Morioka, the best opportunity right now. He is 1 round win away from potentially winning the Baltic Trackmania League for the very first time, and also denying the Lithuanians, who had such a strong upper bracket final and having a, I wouldn't really call it an upset because so many players have been expecting him to win it all before the event, and looks like both Lithuanians are in bit in shambles. Arvito as well, small mistake in the center, and it looks like Morioka is on the best setup right now to take the win for Estonia. That hasn't been done since the winter season of 2022, and it all comes down to the end. Will he get the end? And it will be Morioka taking the title for the Baltic Trackmania League Summer 2023 season, pulling the upset over the both upper bracket honorary players Auris and Ziren, and will be securing first place and the first time winning Baltic Trackmania League in this for himself, and taking the first win for Estonia in this year.
Yeah, that is how it goes, as Auris has a nose slide at the start. I mean, you know, you only need one man at the top. Estonia putting all of its eggs in one basket, and it does deliver. Morioka is undoubtedly the best player in the Baltic region, but it's not over until it's over. We still have quite a bit of match to go, and given how Ziren maybe hasn't felt the most confident, well, currently in this round, he's looking to get a first position. I feel like it's still quite possible for Arvito and Auris to still take something out of this, because it is a map pick for him, for Ziren, but looking good at the moment at least. I mean, he has 4/10s. It would have to be an absolute throw in the end. There's no reason to risk. He still risks it, but somehow still triggers the finish check, but I don't know how he managed to do that. That looked like an absolute full-blown crash to me.
Yeah, but with that, he does enter finalist, since we're going to be playing out through all three winners. Arvito needs to build up a small advantage over Auris as well. Maybe he can even deny Ziren for that second place. We'll still seek to do so. Ziren on his first opportunity to close out finalist. This was his map pick at the start of the match, and he did ban Reunion. That's why we did not see that map in the grand final compared to the rest of the matches. Right now, very close round, very risky line there from Ziren. Almost closed it, almost clicked the inside there, but really tries to be efficient with his lines, but so are the rest of the players. As all three players are super close between each other. You have no idea how it can go at the very end. Auris, though, having a minor advantage so far, gets the most momentum as well out of it. Well, gets the widest line. It all comes down to the last setup. Arvito very close. Ziren has the most speed. Will he be the one to deny? And he will! And he actually will, despite being behind the majority of the round. Snags in front just ahead of his teammate and Arvito, and snags the second place. And now it's time for the 1v1 for the third place.
Yeah, but it does mean that we do switch the maps, and I'm gonna be honest, I feel more comfortable with Arvito on this than Auris, if I have to give my honest opinion. Especially since that Auris hasn't really felt you know, the most comfortable in the few recent maps. But this was technically the map that Auris picked to begin with. So if there's any map that could lend him a win over Arvito, it could be this. But it's hard to say. It's just gonna come down to whoever just feels the best in the moment.
So for this to happen, Arvito needs to at least secure a top 2 well, he basically needs to finish in this round, and then he will enter finalists. However, it's very important for him to take the win in this round, to have a way better mental advantage coming in to the last finalist round. At the same time, it's very important now for Auris to get the round wins going, to secure him on a superior mental state above Arvito in this 1v1, because this can decide on who will be third and who will be last. Will it be a reputation for Latvia and for Auris, as well as his highest placement ever in Baltic Trackmania leagues has been third place. So either he will mimic it or he will initiate a fourth place curse. So it looks like in this round, a bit of a unfortunate mistake from Auris, but it's not too big of a deal. However, this will start to give us a bit of a confidence boost now for Auris, as now Arvito enters finalist, while Auris is still a couple of points away from entering finalist himself.
Yeah, it's basically all or nothing for Auris. As we said, he has to win every single round. Now this one and the preceding one as well. So we will be having minimum 2 rounds. Whether Arvito gets to close it out now or Auris or Arvito after that. So it's all up to Arvito to secure this finalist mode and Auris to just survive and just send it. I feel like if you're in this position, Auris, I feel like is the best player to have. He has the pace and he does have experience, so the man can fully send it, and usually it's where the elite do thrive the most, is when they are put against the wall, and Auris currently looking to do so. Arvito is trying to close the gap, but every corner does not really lend itself to that much speed. Apart from this one, this could go down to the absolute wire. Arvito does exit with more speed. Auris, clips the checkpoint, is completely out of it, and gives the position away to Arvito, who now reclaims his third place curse. And as he is third place to finish off, what a way to get on the podium. Auris clips the checkpoint and is unable to drift there in the end. What a way to end that grand final.
Yeah, Auris pulling a small simply quit there at the end. But
yeah, that's a rough one. It's basically a death sentence. If you clip that checkpoint, you are so mudded there. It's just really hard to initiate a drift there. So there was nothing he could do there. It was just unfortunate for him.
Alright, and with that, we are done with the Baltic Trackmania League Summer 2023. Hope you all enjoyed these matches. Also, hope everyone who took part in the placement event, amateur tournament, and elite as well enjoyed your time and experience gained from this tournament. So the final placings from the Baltic Trackmania League Summer 2023 season are: 16th place will be Psyniac, 15th Lama Lapas, 14th Hapux, 13th Bits, 12th Marcelli, 11th Insider, 10th Crazy Cat, 9th Greedy. And now we're going to the playoffs that were the top 8. Iava 8th, Karluki 7th, Dvinho 6th, Kuzi 5th, and all of these 4 players will also have a small monetary bonus with 20 euros. 4th place will be Auris from Hungary and Lithuania, having his highest placement in this year. 3rd place, Arvito, with a small bonus of 50 euro as well, having his highest performance in this year in altogether in his Trackmania career, as his previous record was 7th to 8th place in the previous Baltic League. 2nd place, we have Ziren setting his best performance as well ever in 2nd place, and Morioka, the winner of Baltic Trackmania League and a small bonus of 100 euro from Vortex, is the 2nd winner from Estonia to take his title, and Morioka's first win in Baltic Trackmania League. And with that, we'll have Morioka, Ziren, Arvito, and Auris, who will be seeing also in the Comic-Con Baltic Trackmania tournament in October as well. While the rest will be have to go through open qualifiers that'll be taking place a bit later.
Yeah, it's been a good time. Like, the entire tournament has been great. I would have loved to be in that grand finals as well, but I feel like I deserve to be 9th. It is a despair position, but you know, it is what it is. All out, everybody in the chat, everybody who was involved, good stuff as well. All up and all better as well, and I'm looking forward to the next year as well. And to Comic-Con as well. Soon, keeping on your radar as well. I'm sure there will be updates and stuff with that as well to come, so I'm sure keep yourself posted with that. But unless you have something to say, I'll leave it off to you to end it.
Alright. If you are from Baltics, make sure to check out the Baltic Trackmania Discord, where we do a bunch of other stuff, and there's a lot of banter between all 3 countries and players, and also to stay tuned for other future events for the region. And yeah, looking forward to now to the Comic-Con Baltics. That's going to be the next notable events. Most likely there was not going to be Baltic Trackmania League yet for this year. However, there's going to be the Baltic Trackmania Championship at the end of the year, which is going to be a pretty cool spectacle as well. Anyway, that's going to be it from us. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed your time and stay around these tournaments. We'd love to see some new faces as well in future Baltic tournaments. That'll be it from me, also from Creedy. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully see you all later. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.